Hello students, today we are going to do a cubist face for our quick assignment today. So today we're going to start out our cubist face. I'm going to start out with very basic, so I'm going to go up to shapes. I am going to go to our oval shape, and I'm going to click in just anywhere on the canvas and get it to be a circle. Now I'm going to hit shift and I'm going to drag it out so I can keep it as a circle shape. I want to keep it as a circle shape because we're just going to use shapes to make this cubist design. Now one of the first things I'm going to do before I do anything else is I'm going to first change the fill color. I want to keep somewhat brighter colors, so I'm going to stick mostly up here, but you could make your own color if you want to. I'm going to go to the orange. I'm also going to thicken up the border color. So the border color, I'm going to keep it as black. I'm going to go to border weight, which are those little lines that are next to the pencil. And I'm going to thicken it up to about 3 or 4. Either one of those work. Now I'm going to click off. I'm going to go back up to shapes. I'm going to get this Pac-Man looking shape right here. They call it pie. I'm going to click it. I'm going to drag it out so it almost kind of fits in a way, but I'm going to rotate it. So to rotate it, see that little circle up top, I'm going to rotate it so it's almost sideways, because I'm going to then drag it up. I'm going to drag it up and I'm going to drag it out almost so that way I can try and make this be like where the nose is. So this is going to be a bit tricky. So I'm going to have to try and line it up to the best of my ability. Now, I could just go like that and have this be like part of the face or something like that. It is up to you how you want to make this work. But the idea is going to be to almost like this is the nose. But remember, this is a cubist face, so it's going to change up a bit. So I'm now going to make it a nice bright color. I'm going to go to green this time. And once again, I'm going to thicken the border up to 4. So this is the face part so far. Now, what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to add what'll be hair in the background before I go any further. Now, hair shapes can be all different. There's the flowchart delay. You can use the cloud shape. You can, all different shapes are going to work for this. Now, for the sake of argument, I'm going to actually go to the flowchart delay. I'm going to click it. I'm going to rotate it sideways so that way the rounder part is on the top, flatter's on the bottom, and I'm going to kind of click and drag it out. And right now it's covering my face, which is fine, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go arrange, order, send to back, which is going to put it behind the head. I'm going to change my color. I'm actually going to do like something a little bit darker since it is my hair color. I'm going to probably do maybe like this red right here. And I'm going to thicken the border again. And so right here, I have the very basics of my cubist shape. I'm going to do the neck right now. The neck is going to be, it can be any like more rectangular type shape. Maybe I do something like the trapezoid. Click. I go down to the bottom. I'm going to make it a little bit thinner, just like that. And once again, I'm going to change the color up. Or I could do green again, it doesn't matter. Thicken the border. So this is where I find myself at. Now, cubist faces, they weren't always very symmetrical. You can already tell this is not very symmetrical. So when it comes to faces itself, what you're going to do is maybe like one eye is up, one eye is down. This part right here, this sort of triangle shape at this point, is going to serve as the nose, and I'm going to utilize this part right here for the mouth actually. So this kind of is helping me right here with part of the face. So I'm going to utilize this for the mouth, And I'm going to go back into my shapes. I'm going to look and see if I can find something to help me with the mouth, maybe like a half circle for the top and for the bottom. So actually, like, that would be going either back to flowchart delay, or there is the chord shape right there. So you can do like anything along like those lines. So I'm actually going to utilize the flowchart delay for the bottom part of the lip. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to rotate it utilizing that little circle up at the top. Rotate. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Kind of flatten it up against here. Maybe rotate it just a touch more. I'm going to make this maybe pink right there, purple, whatever you want to call it, magenta. There we go. I'm going to thicken it up. So there's the bottom of my lips. And now for the top part, I could do the chord. I could do something completely different. So it is up to you. I could even maybe do 2 triangles, one right next to the other, because I don't want to do the heart shape because then I can't see the line through. So that's one of the main reasons I'm not doing something like the heart shape. So maybe I actually just take the flowchart delay and I almost make a bit of a heart shape. So I'm going to make this smaller. Just like that. I'm going to thicken the border, change the color, maybe I do red this time. And I'm going to duplicate that shape. So that way all I have to do is just move it over. And if I want to, I can use the mouse or I can use the arrows to help move it over. So you see, I'm kind of utilizing that line there to help me show where like the halfway point of my mouth is, the line in between. So now I'm going to do one eye. And to start with the shapes with the eye, I'm actually going to go to the flowchart preparation shape that's right here. I'm just going to click. Now that's a little big, so I'm going to actually make that a little bit smaller. I'm going to thicken up the border. I'm going to make this white because this is the eye. And now I'm going to put circles inside. So now I'm going to do one circle. I'm going to make that like a blue color. And then I'm going to do another circle. And I'm going to make sure, and I'm going to do that one black actually. And I'll make that even smaller, try to put that inside. So that actually fits right in there. So I'll make that even smaller. Just like that. And if I wanted to kind of try and do maybe some like eyelashes, there's this arc right there. I could easily like make that a bit smaller, although that's a bit tricky. So I could easily do that and just thicken up the border. And then once I have it the correct thickness, I can just duplicate it a couple times and use the arrow keys to move it over. And kind of try to line it up along there. Now I'm going to try and do another eye more down here. So I'm going to kind of do the same sort of process. And what I could do actually is I could click on each shape and I could duplicate them. So now I just have to take that, move that down here. I click on the blue, duplicate it. I'm using my arrow key right here to move it down. And click on the black, duplicate. And there's that. And I could do the same thing now with the eyelashes to kind of duplicate it. And all I'm like, and that's the beauty of something like this, especially just using the shapes, is I can just easily click on it and I'm duplicating it, and it allows me to bring this over and down and just keep it fairly simple. Now, one thing I'm actually going to do real quick before I forget is I'm actually going to make my hair a little bit wider because I forgot ears, just like that. So I'm going to now go back up to shapes. I'm going to get the flowchart terminator shape, which is like an ovally type shape. I'm going to turn it on its side so it's straight up and down. I'm going to put it like right there. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, just like that. I'm going to thicken up the border. This time I think I'm going to go with yellow. And I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to move it over. There we go. And now I just got to change the background color. So to change the background color, what you do is, if I remember correctly, it's a little bit different than it's a little bit different for you guys than what is on my computer, but you do have to right click on the canvas, and you should get a drop down menu, a pop-up menu, just like this, and background should be one of those, and you can change the background color. So since I didn't use a lot of blue, I want to do a blue background to kind of help make everything sort of pop. And maybe even this is a little bit too bright, so maybe I go to the darker blue, and that one's actually pretty good. And there is my Cubist face, boys and girls.